Question 17. Mr. Jones just won a lottery prize that will pay him $5,000 a year for 30 years. So obviously $5,000 is the payment. 30 years is amper. He will receive his first payment today. So now you see the word, he will receive his first payment today. So this is annuity due question. Type should be 1. Type should be 1 here. Okay, so 5.5% is the interest rate. What is his winning worth to him today? It's asking for the present value. So this is 30 years and 5.5%, and payment is $5,000, and future value he won the lottery will pay him $5,000 a year, and after the last payment, and there's no money in this account, so it's only $5,000, and the last payment is just $5,000 as payment, and besides this, there's no additional money goes to this account, so its future value is 0. So you see the cash flow in this account is $5,000 a year for 30 years plus nothing else in the end. So it's asking you, if this is the cash flow for Mr. Jones, how much does it worth today? So it's asking for the present value. So this is the input. We should use PV function. So it's 5.5%, 30. Payment is 5,000. Future value is 0. Add 1 for type. Should be 1 for type. Okay, so if this is your input, now let's try in Excel. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. This is question 17. Question 18. You want to save $75 a month for the next 15 years, and your return is 14%. How much more will you have at the end of the 15th year if you invest your money at the beginning of each month rather than the end of each month? So it's asking you if it's annuity due, how much is the future value? But if it's an owner annuity, how much is the future value? Everything else, all the other informations are the same for the two questions. Okay, so you should calculate the future value for annuity due, which is payment occurred at the beginning of each month, and also you calculate another present value for another future value for payment happened at the end of the month. Okay, so I have the answers in the next slide. Let's take a look. Here it is. So the difference between annuity due and also an owner annuity is type is 1 for annuity due, and type is 0 for owner annuity. Okay, so you add 1 for type, but for owner annuity, you don't have to put any number for type. Okay, so this is question 18. Question 19. This is about the effective annual rate question, an APR question. So what is the effective annual rate of 10.5% compounded semi-annually? Okay, so there's no other information at all. It's just like the question, it's just like, for example, you deposit $100 and you deposit now, but interest is calculated twice a year. So at 10.5% divided by 2 as your semi-annual interest rate. So in the end, so a year later, how much is your account value? How much is your account value a year from now? So it's just like this one. Your interest rate would be, if you consider it's $100, and a year later, how much interest you earned in that year, if interest is calculated twice a year, then that's asking, and the return you get in a year, it's called effective annual rate. So let's do that. Let me just write down the math, and you will see $100 interest rate should be 10.5% divided by 2, compounded twice. So this is the math equation. And to get the interest rate, since our initial investment is $100, and this amount is how much you will get by the end of year 1. And if you divide it by 100, that's your total percent of increase in the year, and you subtract 1, and that will give you the interest rate. And that will give you effective annual rate, or EAR here. Let's see how much is it. So see, it's 0.1077, or let's make it a percentage. Oh, here. And 10.78%. So, but you see the question, so it equals to 10.778%. 10.78% here. So yeah, you see, so this is the answer. This is the EAR here. So, but you see, this account you got is 10.5%. But however, since you're getting interest calculated twice a year, so you're actually getting more from this account. Your return is 10.78%, not the 10.5% as told. So in this case, this 10.5% is called APR. This is APR stands for annual percentage rate, APR. And the EAR is called effective annual rate. Okay, so it's different concept. EAR is calculating in the whole year how much return you're getting. APR is like you just add each period in that year's rate and add them up in the whole year, and that's the APR. APR is just like you add up each period interest rate. That's the whole year's interest rate. But EAR, like we're considering interest you made, we're considering your compounding. So EAR rate is always higher or equal to APR. EAR will not be less than APR. But how to calculate it, it seems like the math I did here is sort of complicated. But we have the Excel to do this. There's an Excel function called effect in Excel to do this calculation here. So APR is 10.5, and that means interest rate is 10.5% divided by 2, but for each semi-annual, not for the whole year. So 10.5% divided by 2, it's 5.25% for semi-annually. So your investment will increase by 5.25% every half of the year. So APR is, the whole year is 10.5%, but it's compounded twice a year since this is a semi-annual account. Okay, so ampere here, number of period per year, that's ampere. So in this case, it's 2 here. So in Excel, and there is a command called effect. The syntax for effect is find effect under financial functions, and the syntax is the first input should be APR, or in Excel it's called nominal. Nominal is just APR. Nominal, and the second input is ampere. So in our example, it should be 10.5% and 2, and it will give us 10.78%. So let's try. Okay, so go to formula, financial, effect is the command. EFFECT is the command. You see, so the nominal interest rate, which is 10.5% or APR rate. Nominal rate is the nominal interest rate. Ampere is the number of compounding period per year. It's semi-annual, so it's 2, twice a year. So 10.78%. Okay, so I showed you the math equation here already. So to get the EAR, we do this. 1 plus APR divided by how many years is compounded in a year. And with power of n, subtract 1. That's EAR. That's a math equation. Or you do this. In Excel using effect function. If you know EAR, you want to know APR. Nominal is the function in Excel to get the APR. Okay, so let's try question number 20.